Good morning, YouTube, and welcome to the next episode of Punk Rock Ham Radio. I am your host, KM6TWI, the Punk Rock Ham Radio guy. I have arrived at the promised land, the Punk Rock Ham Radio summer camp that is Hamvention 2025 near Dayton, Ohio. Let's go have a look around. Thank you. You know what this place reminds me of? If the NAMM show in Anaheim, the National Association of Music Merchants, had a baby with the Warped Tour in the late 90s and early 2000s, but it was ham radio and not punk rock, you'd have a place like Hamvention 2025. So what do punk rock and ham radio actually have in common? Well, first of all, there's me, hey everybody, Punk Rock Ham Radio, and then there's Greg Ginn, the founder of Black Flag. At 12 years old, started a business called Solid State Transmitters, and he's selling antenna tuners and things like that, and later repurposed the company as a record label to release Black Flag's music, SST Records. You can go and see ham radio equipment on display at the Punk Rock Museum in Las Vegas. I went there and I've seen them. I'm like, that's not music equipment. Is that is what I think it is? Yes, it is. So there you have it. That's all punk rock and ham radio have in common. So thanks for joining me, everyone. Let's go have a look around at some ham radio gear. Says the 90s kid punk guy who grew up on Green Day and Blink-182 and that ska punk thing that happened, and the emo and screamo and hardcore and metal, and Green Day is my favorite band. Ellicraft. This is where they keep all of the SoCal Soda radios. Like this, the KX2. Tell you what, if I was still living in Southern California with Soda Summits in my backyard, I would have spent my ICOM 705 money on one of these. Without question. Ellicraft KH1, handheld, CW only radio. Look at that thing. Almost as small as a deck of cards, but not quite. For all your CW Summits on the Air operations. Check out this Jeep, dude. That'll take it to some places.
That terrifies me. That's neat stuff, though.
Our AMSAT friends. Someday I'm going to make a contact with a satellite, and I will make my first satellite contact with my Arrow antenna. They just work if you can get into the satellite. Wolf River coils. The first HF antenna that I purchased was a Wolf River coil, the Soda Special Kit. I got one of these. Comes in very handy. I keep this in the back of my car. You never know when you need to park in POTA and set up on your car. This Sporty 40 looks freaking cool, man. Just 40 meters, and you get their whip too. That's the right length, and just righty-tighty, and you're on 40 meters at the park at night. So that's the first building. There's lots more to see. We are not going to have time to cover everything. Let's go see some punk rock ham radio favorites in this next building over here. I'm just going to say, one of my missions on YouTube as a ham radio, outdoor, portable, parks on the air, summits on the air, activator guy is to share what was so freely shared with me on YouTube. Just, let's face it, pretty much everything I learned about ham radio, I learned from watching YouTube. So thank you to all of the YouTube ham tuber content creators out there. Here it is, everybody. The QRP Labs QMX transceiver, single sideband now, FT8s and CW, all in this little size that's no larger than a deck of cards. And there you have it. If I was going to go up Mount Whitney and do a SOTA activation, if I could choose one radio, it'd be the QRP Labs QMX radio. Just because. Look at that thing. Did you see it? Punk Rock Ham Radio has arrived at the Icon booth, Hamvention 2025. Let's have a look around. Ooh. IC 7100. So this is where they keep the 705. In this luxurious Icon 705 backpack. One of the best purchases I've made in ham radio so far. In Indiana, because if I was in California doing SOTA, I would have got a KX2.
It's got the repeater listed too, like this little.
Are you a new technician? Do you want to upgrade the antenna on your HT? Buy a Signal Stuff antenna. You'll thank me later. Just do it.
Books to say like mag mounts become a problem because those mag mounts are about a pound each. Some of
Well, that's that building. It's not everything, but it's all of the Punk Rock Ham Radio bullet points. And then there's this guy.
Punk Rock Ham Radio. Subscribe.
Subscribe to Punk Rock Ham Radio on YouTube. You'll thank me later. Just kidding, no, seriously, subscribe to Punk Rock Ham Radio. That's all we do here is have a lot of fun outdoors, going on adventures, playing ham radio. Tom DeLong was right. Aliens exist, and they're at Hamvention. So I'm in this third building over here now. Let's find some more interesting stuff that I'm interested in without having to look at everything, because there's literally cool stuff everywhere. Oh, Diamond Antenna has a cool portable antenna.
It makes the move frequency. So it'll lift up 144 and lower 148.
Check it out, the all-new Diamond RHM12 SOTA POTA antenna. Here it is at Hamvention. RHM12 portable screwdriver type antenna. It just goes up and down, like, and you got all of the bands marked on there. And there's the cool whip, and then you add on these coils for the lower bands. Ham radio outlet. I have bought many of my radios from Ham Radio Outlet for no particular reason than the HRO in Anaheim is literally right across the street from Orange County, California's punk rock all ages venue where I grew up attending and playing punk rock shows at, Chain Reaction in Anaheim. If you didn't play a show there, were you even in a punk rock band? Our friends at ABR Industries.
I could have brought like 100 of them, and I think I still could.
All of this cool stuff.
You never
Pactenas!
Yeah, I'm going to try to contract this. It's computer to computer.
Everybody say hi to our friends at Pactena.
Got it. Thank you very much.
Hi, everybody. Pactena. It's a cool antenna. It's my favorite antenna right now. Ooh, look, Yasu's over here. Here it is, the Yaesu FTX1. 100-watt amp. I think it takes what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cables?
Yeah, 30 minutes before the show opened yesterday, they gave us a manual and said, here's a radio. Oh my gosh. Then they opened the gates 10 minutes early.
What do you guys think about the Yaesu FTX1? Leave me a comment below. ATOS. Say it with me, everybody. ATOS. The new Yaesu mobile radios and the FTM 510. I might have to come back here in a little bit and play with this thing. Probably gonna end up with some flavor of a Yaesu APRS radio in my car at some point. But for now, check them out.
I mean, they come out of nowhere. Who ever heard of them before?
It's cheaper for me to buy it directly from them than anyways. It's free shipping for me.
Your Baofeng can do the Apers with the DigiRig Lite. Look at that. And your APRS Droid. Pretty neat. That's the first 3 main buildings, covering all of the punk rock ham radio bullet points. There's 5 more buildings over here we gotta go through. I may have a lead on a Yaesu FTM 500. We'll talk more about that later. Eris, amateur radio on the International Space Station. I would be lying to you if I didn't say this was one of the main reasons why I got into ham radio, is to talk to space. Look at this old school Kenwood radio, TS820S. It could be yours for the price of $350. Punk rock ham radio bullet points over there. Let's go over to the next building and see what cool stuff we can find over there. Hertz Hall. Hey, it's these SoCal Soda weirdos, Ara and Adam. Hey guys, and all this cool stuff.
It brings those resonant
The
points
tiny
down
paddle,
and bands better. So that's
all of Ara's brilliant creations.
Okay.
And then there's Adam's antenna set. It's crowded here. They're busy selling stuff. One of these days, I'm gonna build one of those. I just have some tools and some skills to acquire first. But anyways, I'll let these guys get back to business. Good to see you, dude.
Thanks for stopping by, man.
You bet. Say hi to YouTube, Ara.
Hi, YouTube. Ara.
GoPro, stop recording. Adam and Ara, good seeing you guys, SoCal Soda. If you're new here and you haven't figured it out by now, I grew up in ham radio doing 2-meter soda in Southern California. And look how far I've come. There's no summits in Indiana really, but someday I'm going up Mount Baldy and doing an HF soda. Just like I always said I would, but instead of studying for my general, I'm like, dude, there's another mountain over there. Let's go activate it. And I get to Indiana and there's no mountains and I finally got my general. And that's how that story goes, everybody. Well, that's all of the booths, I think. There's forum 1 and 2 right here. I think class is in session over there. That looks really cool. I'm sure there's some really interesting sessions to participate in. I'll have to do that another time. That's all of the Hamvention booths. at least all of the punk rock ham radio bullet point stuff. Thanks for coming along. Let's have one last look around before wrapping the video up. Thanks everybody for watching and joining me on this episode of Punk Rock Ham Radio. And there it is, the flea market. You never know what kind of cool used gear you're gonna find. Is that a Panasonic Toughbook? That's cool. And then this just goes on and on and on and on and on, row after row of all kinds of interesting bits and bobs. And oh look, they even have a crate of laptop power supplies. Like, literally, like, you never know what you're gonna find. Well, that's all I got for now, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Punk Rock Ham Radio. I hope everybody had a happy Hamvention 2025. I'm gonna keep exploring and looking at stuff and checking out gear, and I'm gonna try to not spend too much money. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you never miss a single episode of Punk Rock Ham Radio. 73.